Atlantis. What happened to the lost city of Atlantis? Where was this ancient civilization really located? In this video, we'll dive headfirst into the legend and legacy of Atlantis. So keep watching to discover the secrets of the most mysterious lost city of all time. Atlantis in pop culture. The story of Atlantis is one of the most popular and captivating legends in human history. Today, we can find references to Atlantis scattered all throughout media and pop culture, from comic books, TV shows, blockbuster films, and video games. Some people even believe that the stories created by H.P. Lovecraft were heavily influenced by the legendary underwater lost city. If that wasn't enough, Atlantis inspired the undersea kingdom of Atlantica in The Little Mermaid, and eventually it got an entire Disney movie of its very own. But where did this legend come from? And what do we know about the real city of Atlantis? Atlantis mythology. The legend of Atlantis was first discussed by the philosopher Plato, who described an island nation with an advanced society and many beautiful temples. The name Atlantis was supposedly invented by Plato for use in his dialogues Timaeus and Critias. In these writings, the kingdom of Atlantis was named after its king, Atlas, who was the son of Poseidon, god of the sea. Poseidon protected Atlantis until the people grew too powerful and immoral, and according to Plato, Poseidon allowed them to be swallowed up by the ocean around the year 9600 BC, quickly sinking into the sea in only a night and a day. Many people in the ancient Greek world disagreed on whether or not Plato's Atlantis was meant to be a real place or if it was merely allegorical. Perhaps Plato was using the constitutional republic of Atlantis as a metaphor for the ideal society. Plato's character Critias claims that the history of Atlantis was a true story passed down from person to person for over 1,000 years. Yet, even Aristotle joked that his teacher Plato was able to conjure nations out of thin air only to destroy them. In more recent history, the mystery of Atlantis has recaptured the curiosity of the world through books like The New Atlantis by Francis Bacon in 1627, which describes an advanced island nation, and Atlantis, the Antediluvian World by Ignatius L. Donnelly in 1882, in which he theorized that the advanced culture of Atlantis spawned heroes that inspired and influenced the Greek, Hindu, and Scandinavian mythologies. Historians, archaeologists, and philosophers have been scouring the globe for centuries, looking for evidence that could shed light on the origins of Atlantis and its possible location. Location theories. There are many theories about the location of Atlantis, and new ones pop up all the time. From the Gulf of Mexico to Antarctica, people never run out of possible explanations for where the lost city was and how it was destroyed. According to Plato, Atlantis was an island in the Atlantic Ocean, both the island and ocean being named after King Atlas himself. And it was located past the Pillars of Hercules, which is believed to mean the Strait of Gibraltar, a narrow passage between Spain and Morocco, connecting the Atlantic and the Mediterranean. Yet, these directions are vague and could be interpreted in many ways. The Atlantic is a huge ocean to search, and if you were to keep going in that direction, you would eventually end up in the famed Bermuda Triangle, or the Devil's Triangle, known for the many disappearances that occur there. Could the entire nation of Atlantis have been lost in the Bermuda Triangle? Another possibility is that the island of Malta could have been home to the Atlanteans once upon a time. Settled by Stone Age people coming from Sicily in 5200 BC. Malta has a long and mysterious history, and its stone structures and temples predate the Great Pyramid at Giza by centuries. Malta's culture has been wiped out before due to an earthquake and a tsunami, and the island survived a plague in 1675 and a siege during World War II. Unlike Plato's Atlantis, Malta has time and again faced calamity and survived. Another theory of Atlantis' origin was argued by a Swedish scientist, Olaus Rudbeck, who, in 1679, claimed that Sweden was the original location of Atlantis. Not only that, he also believed that Swedish was the first language, ancestor to all of the other languages on Earth. The most widely held theory as to the real-life location of Atlantis is the Greek Isle of Santorini, which was known as Thera in ancient times, home of the Minoan village of Akrotiri. It is believed that Thera, now a flooded caldera, may have been destroyed by a tsunami resulting from a volcanic eruption in 1600 BC. That's 8,000 years after Plato claimed that Atlantis disappeared. This tsunami may have also spelled doom for the Bronze Age Minoan civilization on the island of Crete, which fell into decline 150 years later and eventually ended in 1100 BC. Historians even refer to this disaster as the Minoan eruption, or the Akrotiri-Thera eruption. However, Santorini is part of Greece and is located in the Aegean Sea, not in the Atlantic Ocean as described in Plato's writings. Could the Atlanteans have been wiped out by this volcanic eruption and tsunami? Were they part of the Minoan civilization, or perhaps their neighbors? One thing is certain, the island of Santorini was swallowed up by the sea, just as Plato described. One of the newest popular theories regarding Atlantis is inspired by maps based on the written works of Herodotus of Halicarnassus, who is often referred to as the father of history. The maps seem to show an African region in northwestern Libya called Atlas, or Atlantis. Many geographers have discussed the inaccuracies of the map. For example, it shows the direction of the Nile River running east to west instead of south to north, as we know it does today. Also, historians will point out that the Titan god Atlas was a popular mythological figure for which many locations and geological features were named. Atlas was forced to hold up the heavens for eternity and stood at the westernmost ends of the world. All this eventually led to Atlas being associated with the Atlas Mountains, which are located near the Atlantis marked on Herodotus' map. So, the map could be referring to the mountain range and not referencing Atlantis at all. To top it off, it is believed that Herodotus may not have even drawn these maps himself, but that they were instead drawn centuries later by scholars studying his writings. Yet the most compelling factor of this particular Atlantis location theory is the Rikat structure in Mauritania, a series of ruined stone walls and foundations built in circular rings called the Eye of the Sahara. Just one look at the Rikat structure calls to mind images of Atlantis. Only these ancient ruins are in the middle of a desert, a far cry from an island in the sea, at least in modern times. Some people have posed the idea that changing sea levels throughout history could have flooded parts of northern Africa, and the Sahara may have been green at one time. This raises the possibility that an island could have existed near Herodotus's Atlantis, and if so, it could have eventually been destroyed by those same moving floodwaters. Another interesting fact is that the Titan Atlas is said to be the first king of Mauritania, where the Rekhat structure is located. And he was skilled in mathematics, astronomy, and philosophy. Those are definitely qualities one might expect in the king of an advanced society like Atlantis. Could the Titan Atlas and Atlas, son of Poseidon, have been the same person? Or are they merely fictional characters whose stories coincidentally overlap one another? It's also notable that the Rekhat structure does lie to the west of the Strait of Gibraltar, Plato's Pillars of Hercules, but it is definitely not in the Atlantic Ocean as we know it today. Much more study needs to be done on the Rekhat structure's ruins and artifacts, which have already been trampled, looted, and further damaged over time. We can't be certain that the Eye of Sahara was Atlantis, but there is no doubt that a thriving civilization once called it home. While we still don't know the real location of Atlantis, we can be certain that archaeologists, historians, and explorers won't stop searching until they find this fantastic and wondrous lost city. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe for more mysterious myths.